There is a huge differences between the original book and the drama. Some of them are just mind-blowing. You wouldn't believe what's going to happen. The drama version is quite a joy to watch, although some scenes are just weird.
Bruh.
But there are things that the readers miss in the book, like the deleted characters. Let's begin by noting the biggest change they made for the show. In the first episode, we know that Sang-yu are apparently twins, and that her twin has amnesia throughout the series, which made her remember nothing about her past or her background. Spoiler alert. Later on, we found out that her name is Jiman. On the other hand, the book version is much simpler. It tells the story of Jiman, who's a 21st century girl transported into the world of a novel and become a villain character named Ni Sang-yu in the story. Kinda like the romance of Tiger and Rose. Ironically, in that story, the female lead is supposedly Wen Wan. However, due to censorship of transmigration plot in China, the story was changed to Jiman being a twin and has amnesia. Do you know that there is a second lead main character named Ning Mingjie in the book? He is Yuxuan's cousin and used to like Wen Wan at first, but fell for Jiman along the way. Another big difference is Yisun, who is mean around 80% of the time in the book, and a huge flirt, and had many wives, even concubines at home. After Jiman found herself in the body of Sang-yu, she decided to treat the other concubines kindly because all she thinks about is survival. But it becomes tricky. Sang-yu's spirit is still inside of her and can influences her emotions and even actions sometimes. And the real Ni Sang-yu, she wanted to make Yixun fall in love with her. Jiman, on the other hand, was not sure about this. After all, Yixun hates her to death. Now you might wonder why Sang-yu became the way she was. Here's why. Nia Sang-yu originally grew up with her stepmother who hated her. She grew up unloved and uncared for. As she became a teenager, she clung to the idea of marriage because she had hoped to be loved. She got married to Yixun at 14 years old. Sadly, on their wedding night, a woman that Yixun had a relationship with fell into a lake, and he rescued her. Sang-yu was angry, and she dismissed all the other women. That made Yuxuan upset, and from then on, their relationship collapsed for good. Trapped in a bad marriage, Sang-yu tried to act as the perfect little wife to please him. But when that didn't work, he eventually turned her into a concubine instead. At the end, because their relationship continued to get worse, Yisun told her to hang herself. Out of desperation, Sang-yu pulled Jiman into the story. Now, in the modern world, Jiman majored in chemistry. She used this knowledge to make creams and lotions to sell for money. She still likes to make money. Unfortunately, Yixun was able to see the changes in Sang-yu. He noticed that she was not her usual self, and seeing Jiman being cold to him and bullied by the other girls, he then came to comfort her. Since in the modern world, she's originally single and hasn't had much experiences with men, Jiman was just scared of him. The more Yixun pursued her, the more she pulled away from him. As the story went along and the situation didn't play in her favor, Jiman had an affair with Yixun out of desperation. Jiman saw how he protected Wen Wan, and Jiman thought that the only way that she can be safe was by winning his favor and making him fall in love with her. So she did, and Jiman ended up being pregnant shortly after.
What?
But Yixun had a reputation for being ruthless. He did not harm their baby, but he replaced the baby with a cat.
Bruh.
Jiman just thought that she had lost her baby. In reality, the baby was secretly raised by Yixun. Luck just was not on her side, as later on she was exiled from court because of political reasons. She did not do business illegally. It was more because she's a woman and did business. As if those were not enough, her whole family was assassinated, and she was the only one left. Even though they are not her real family, she's still heartbroken for a very long time. Realizing that she had nothing, she didn't feel threatened by Yixun anymore. Nonetheless, Yixun realized he fell in love with her a long time ago. After that, he asked Jiman to get out of the capital to avoid the limelight and for her own good. By the time she came back to the capital, the emperor had been changed. She decided to use her real name, which is Jiman, and start a new life, not to complete the story, but just to live better in that world. This time, as she had learned from her mistakes in the past, started a business as a man. She also sold not only cream, but also hand cream and mask. As time went on, she somehow found out that her child is still alive, and Yiksun also found her. The two still hang out together, and Yiksun thinks she's different from all the other women. It was because of all that happened, Jiman didn't hate him but also didn't love him. But men being men, the more you can't have it, the more you want it. Yiksun just continued to pursue her. Jiman couldn't accept that, but at the same time didn't understand why she couldn't share him with another woman. She was jealous. Jiman then entered political situation again, and this time the emperor liked her. She also gradually found out that Yuxuan stopped flirting with others because of her. Once again, she decided to give him a chance. Not long after that, she found out that she was pregnant again. Fell for him, and also genuinely wanted to marry him. Of course, she was very conflicted at first, because she used to think that she wouldn't fall in love with a man with many wives and concubines. But she met him, and all the conditions just fell away. As the emperor was concerned of Jiman, he didn't agree with them getting married. Because all marriages of officials are decided by the emperor, they simply couldn't get married. Unable to accept the emperor's decision, Yiksun even decided to fake his death, stop being an official, and marry Jiman. The emperor didn't have a choice. He agreed to their marriage under one condition. The marriage is set for 5 years later. Years went by, there was a big trouble at the country, and the emperor was changed again. Meanwhile, Yiksun has always had military power and never committed any crimes. At this time, Jiman gave birth to a daughter again, just what Yiksun wanted. Even though there are many females that still chase Yiksun, he remained faithful to Jiman. They lived their life peacefully for the next 5 years and got married on the 5th year. On the day of their marriage, Jiman left the house and got into a carriage and felt lightheaded. We know that Jiman was transported into that world from modern times, but do you know how she was there? She was dreaming. What? In modern times, Jiman had read a light novel just to pass the time, but she was unexpectedly pulled into a strange dream. Inside that carriage, she almost woke up. At the end, after living a long life with Yiksun and their kids, Jiman eventually went back to modern times when her life in the book was over. It is said that Yuxuan died at 78 years old. The director of Romance of a Twin Flower said that Romance of a Twin Flower starts and ends with a dream. It might be a tribute to the book or a spoiler. Let's see how it turns out. Which version do you like more? If you enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.